In a world where conquest characters rule the meta, with damage out of this world, one company seeks to flip the script. The Inquisitorius get a conquest ship. Again. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the Scribe Tribe? We did actually get the very next conquest character. Should I call it a character? Is it really a character? No, I shall call it the brand new conquest ship from everybody's favorite faction. Should I really call it everybody's favorite faction? Again, probably not, but we have got new stuff. That's true. Let's go check it out. Okay, guys, so it is official. B-official. The Scythe is coming to the game as the very next conquest ship. It is going to be piloted by none other than the Grand Inquisitor and the Fifth Brother. Now, I know we did have announcements for this, or leaks for this, recently, a couple of weeks back. I believe Sig had said, yeah, the next conquest character is going to be a ship, and it's going to be the Grand Inquisitor's ship. If CG hasn't quite driven home the fact that they want you to gear the Inquisitorius, I don't know what else to tell you guys. They're kind of making it quite plain, quite clear. Get the Inquisitorius and you'll be okay. Alright, so let's just check it out here. It's Scythe, Darkside Support, Empire, Inquisitorius, and Unaligned Force User. Highlights: fly in formation and command a swarm of imposing TIE fighters. Surprise your foes and strike fear in the heart of your enemies. Bolster the Executrix fleet and bring victory to the Empire. Now, I know what you're thinking, guys. Who asked for the Executor fleet to be buffed? Or the Executrix fleet, sorry, to be buffed, when we have plenty of other fleets that need work? Cough, cough, Radis. Poor Mace, look at him over there. He's got no support. Those two fleet factions really actually need some help. Whereas, you know, the Empire already can beat the Profundity, so... yeah, okay. So, synergies. The Executrix, Imperial TIE Fighter, TIE Reaper, Gauntlet, and Scimitar. So, they're clearly trying to make an extra fleet out of leftover Empire. It's funny that as there are only 2 Inquisitorius fleets or ships in the entire game, and they don't have synergy with one another. Right, okay, cool. That's good. That's good. But whatever, I understand the concept that they're going for. They're going to try and buff out another fleet so that we've got more options, right, for both defense and offense and all that good business. In before, we've got to put 4 fleets on defense and obviously use for offense in Kyber for Grand Arena. You heard it here first. Well, probably not first, actually. I'm sure other people have been speaking to it as well. Okay, so without further ado, let us move on. Keynotes. We're just going to go straight through to the basic ability here. Okay, basic. GA-60S laser cannon. Animation is of a ship shooting laser cannons. I can confirm. Deal physical damage to the target enemy and inflict defense down for 2 turns. Then gain 20% turn meter. Defense down, good debuff. 20% turn meter on a basic is actually phenomenal. Obviously, it doesn't work against the Profundity. If the target is a Jedi, this attack cannot be evaded. Super useful to counter Negotiator. Obviously, there is a lot of foresight in the Negotiator team, and it's the only fleet that actually uses Jedi ships. So there's that. When scoring a critical hit, grant a random Imperial TIE Fighter foresight for 2 turns that doesn't already have it. So it's important to note that this ship actually spawns 2 pilotless TIE Fighter pilots, or TIE Fighters, to come and fly with it. So you actually start with a 2-ship advantage, which is pretty significant. So I'm hoping that they've balanced this correctly and not made those 2 ships incredibly overpowered. But obviously, foresight on a TIE Fighter, when it evades, you're passing TMT, a capital ship. Again, doesn't necessarily work against Profundity, but the fact that you can avoid attacks does mean you have a high likelihood of surviving in opening barrage. Okay, special 1, intimidating flyover with a cooldown of 3. Dispel all buffs on all enemies. Recover 30% health and protection. Ally Empire ships gain stack of formation, max of 30, for each debuff dispelled, dispelled for 2 turns, which cannot be copied. Yeah, okay, so it looks like this formation buff is most likely going to be a normal buff. It doesn't say it can't be dispelled, so you can get rid of it. What does formation do? It gives you 10% stacking max health, offense, and potency for each stack. Obviously, there's a max of 30, but I guarantee you there's no way you get 30 stacks of formation. Whenever the ship uses an ability, it gains 1% turn meter for each stack of formation. So there is a lot of turn meter manipulation, a lot of turn meter gains with this one ship. Its basic gives it 20% turn meter. Any ally that's using an ability with stacks of formation is gaining 1% turn meter based on the number of stacks of formation that they have. That is a lot of TM manipulation. Predatory Instincts is special 2, another cooldown of 3. Target ally recovers 50% health and gains protection up 50% for 2 turns. Then Scythe uses GA60S laser cannon against the target enemy. This attack has 75% additional crit chance this turn, and if the target if the target is debuffed. If the attack scores a critical hit, inflict fear on the target enemy for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, and cannot be evaded by Jedi enemies. Again, huge. We've not had fear in ships before, but fear is one of the most powerful debuffs in the game. Obviously causes you to skip a turn, much like a stun does, but it also increases cooldowns. So super, super useful debuff there. So it has to crit. Obviously, the additional crit chance that you get from attacking debuffed enemies. If it is a Jedi, they can't evade it. So again, it'll work around outside of that foresight ability that gets passed around a lot by negotiator fleets. If this attack defeats the target enemy and the allied capital ship is executrix, target ally gains foresight for 2 turns and inflicts all enemies with fear for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or evaded. Huge. Mass fear, if you kill someone with this ability, is incredible. That gives you so much control against ships. It's curious, actually. I wonder if that actually manages to fear the capital ship as well. Unclear, because if it does, that obviously is going to knock back the ability of reinforcements, of heals, of ultimates. That would be pretty cool. Yep, very good. Unique 1, 2 moves ahead. Allied Empire ships have 20% max health and offense and 10 speed if the enemy capital ship is a Jedi, much like, let me think, GK. Allied capital ships gain an additional, Allied Empire ships gain an additional 70% max health at the start of battle. All Empire allies get a stack of formation. Imperial TIE Fighter allies instead gain stacks of formation equal to the number of ally Imperial TIE Fighters, so 3. These stacks can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented and are removed at the end of the battle when the scythe, or when removed at the end of battle or when the scythe is defeated. Okay, so they're always going to have a base of 3 stacks of the formation ability, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. That means they're gaining 30% max health, 30% offense, and every time they use an ability, they're also gaining, 3% TM. That's pretty crazy. And they're, also gaining ridiculous amounts of additional health and recovery and protection. My god, this is nuts, guys. This is nuts, gotta be honest. So, if the allied capital ship is executrix at the start of battle, summon 2 crewless Imperial TIE Fighters, and while an ally Imperial TIE Fighter has foresight, they are also marked. That's rough. You're going to be forced to attack the Imperial TIE Fighter. The Imperial TIE Fighter is going to have foresight a lot of the time. If it evades, you're going to be feeding TM to your capital ship. Scary stuff. Okay. The first time an allied Imperial TIE Fighter defeats a ship, all allies gain 100% turn meter. That's even more TM manipulation there. That is absolutely crazy. Okay, the reinforcement ability, Surprise and Fear. Inflicts speed down, which can't be evaded or resisted on Jedi enemies for 2 turns. If the allied capital ship is executrix, inflict fear on all enemies for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or evaded, and summon 2 crewless Imperial TIE Fighters. The reinforcement ability is actually sick, I'll be honest with you. I'm still not 100% certain whether or not this particular ship belongs as a reinforcement, because although that opening reinforcement with the fear is huge, I love the idea of having a 2-ship advantage out the gate. Starting with 5 ships compared to your enemy's 3, that is a massive advantage in fleet. Now, thoughts about this, guys. 1, it is so clearly designed to hard counter Negotiator. Okay, everything in this is screaming, let me kill Negotiator. Begs the question because, Empire can already do that without the introduction of this ship. This just makes it a heck of a lot easier. what do we have to worry about? How is this going to interact and counter stuff like Profundity and Executor? Because that is a big concern. If these summoned ships, the Imperial TIE Fighters, are the same kit as a standard TIE Fighter pilot ship, then it means a lot more TM generation. Obviously, that doesn't work against the likes of the Profundity, but generally speaking, if you can survive an opening barrage from the Profundity due to foresight and evading attacks, then usually you've got enough oomph left over for you to clear the rest of the fleet out. I think this does run the risk of invalidating Profundity on defense a little bit. Is that a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Personally, for me, I don't believe that Executrix should be a fleet counter to the Profundity. The Profundity is a brand new meta ship, requires an R9 requirement as well as several other high relic requirements. Don't get me wrong, to get the ship, you need to go through Conquest, and you also need to get the actual Grand Inquisitor, which should be returning any second 3 weeks ago. So I'm not saying that there's no investment required for this this Scythe ship. I'm just saying that the requirements, the investments required for the Profundity still seem to be prohibitively larger, and it should not be counted by this fleet. Personally, I'm of that opinion. Other people may disagree. I guess the question I'm really asking is why. I think there are more worrying concerns about why they are choosing to introduce this, and I think it's got less to do with the environment of the fleet meta, as it were. I don't think that this is going to all of a sudden make Executrix the meta fleet. I think it will make the Executrix an incredibly potent fleet. It's going to hard counter the Negotiator by the looks of things. I think it's going to cause troubles for the Profundity. I think it's probably going to be a go-to counter to the Profundity in the future. This is unfounded, but this is initial assumptions right now. So I think it's going to basically sit between Negotiator Malevolence and Executor Profundity as far as capabilities go. It makes me feel like this does mean we're going to see additional fleets on defense for GAC. That is my first port of call. It feels like if we're getting more valid ship lineups, then we're going to have required more on defense. That is a bit of a worry, because personally, I think that there's a lot of people in Kyber 1, particularly those like me towards the bottom end of that Kyber 1 range, that are going to struggle to try and fill out fleets on defense while still maintaining enough for offense. But I think that's where it's going. Apart from that, you can almost guarantee that there's going to be stuff in this new territory battles that's coming that's going to heavily require stuff like the Scythe as a battle companion. So, hey guys, do you want to gear your Inquisitorius yet? Anyway, guys, that can about do it for the video. Please let me know your thoughts on the Scythe down below. Will you be getting it? Will you be leaving it? And when do you think is the Grand Inquisitor coming back? If this video was fun and entertaining for you, please do hit that like button and consider subscribing to your boy Scribe. And until the next time, peace out.
Just giving a quick shout out to my patrons. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And without your support, I wouldn't be doing this today. Thanks so much.